well, how'd you get into country? I mean, what brought you back to, Americana and all that kind of music?
It's hard to say, man. Growing up, I've been in just about every kind of band you can imagine. I've been in, metal bands when I was younger. And then right in the middle, there was a string of metal bands from the time I was about 12 till the time I was about, 20. But right in the middle, there was a band that I played with. It was just 3 guys with 3 acoustic guitars singing 3-part harmony. And, they were just like 2 of my best friends. And so I played with them, even though that wasn't really what I was interested in at the time. And so then, when those guys moved and went off to college and whatever, and, as did I, and we went our separate ways, I, went back to playing metal, and then, went into this frat boy hip-hop rock band thing that I did. But, all the while, I kept, kind of missing that thing that I'd done with Stu and Jeremy, that 3-part harmony kind of twang thing. And I'd just been missing it, and I was working on songs for a record for one of the harder rock bands, and I brought in a couple of tunes, and they were real twangy, real countrified, and I was, the more I sang them, I was like, this is what I need to be doing. This is where my heart's at. So, over a period of, a couple of years, we kind of made the transition. Obviously, you can't go from playing hard rock to playing country, overnight, or else you'll have to start all over with your fan base. But we weaned them off the rock and, taught them to love country. So,
are you still transitioning, or do you think you found your sound? Because you do have a lot of various, influences.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to ever have a sound, man. I think, I've just got too many ideas, listen to too many different things to say, well, my record's going to sound like a Steve Earle record. I like that kind of music, and I like, but I also like, reggae. I also like listening to, Irish music. There's a tune on the new record that's real Irish. It's actually, the drummer wrote the music, and I wrote the words. And I tried to kind of make it a bit of a drinking and protest song, just because it had that feel. So I don't think we're ever going to have quote unquote a sound. I think that for me it's just about the songs and what sound works for that song, and then you try to pick the ones that kind of fit together to put on a record.
This is your second album with this same band lineup, right? Or at least under Connor Christian and Southern Gothic name. Before that, it was just a Southern Gothic, right?
Well, no, this is the first record as Connor Christian and Southern Gothic. Before, we had a much longer name. It was Connor Christian and the Morning Star Revival, and people just like that, everybody, between my last name and the Revival, people were quite certain that we were a Christian band, so we needed to change that. We didn't want to have an old lady showing up at the show and, keeling over dead when they heard what I was talking about and on stage. I've been with my drummer and my bass player through a couple of different name changes, but we've been together almost 5 years. I'd say 4.5 to be more accurate. About 1.5 years ago, we added Dan, our fiddle player, and we just added Nick after the record. Dan's brother, Bobby, played all the keyboards on the record, and he actually is he plays for Shooter Jennings, Waylon's kid. So anyway, so we figured he was a safe bet to do our record. But as far as this band goes, I'd say we've been together and doing this kind of music for 3 years.
So how does this album compare to the last one? What's new about this one?
I feel like the last record we were really rushed. We did the Southern Gothic record in absolutely no time at all. I did it in like 5 days, I think, and we weren't real adventurous with it. We had been touring on the same self-release record for 2 years or 1.5 years, and people had just been bitching. They're like, all right, we love it, let's have a new one. And so I think we had 4 or 5 really strong songs, and then we wrote another 6, 7 tunes that were just kind of throwaway tunes, and just stuck them on an album. And in retrospect, I wish I wouldn't have done it, but in the end, it worked out. It got us a record deal, so I guess I can't complain. But it's not. I definitely think the new record is 1,000 times better The old record had some good songs on it. This record, I feel like, are all good songs. We came with about 20 songs, and we pared it down to about 14 for this record, and obviously I think we ended up with the best 14. And I don't know, with this one I feel like also we were a good bit more adventurous, man. We brought in people to play banjos and pedal steels and different instruments that I guess we everybody in the band sort of fancies themselves jacks of all trades. We all switch instruments a lot during the show, but for the album, said we're going to have pedal steel. We might as well have someone who really knows what they're doing. I can get up on stage and do it passably, and no one's going to realize it. But if you're listening to the record, we wanted to make sure that critics and people who did know what they were talking about didn't hear it and be like, who is playing that crap? That's terrible. So,
all right. Is there anything else you want to add?
I can't think of anything right off. Maybe mention that our website's connorchristian.com. We're on Facebook and MySpace, and we're always on tour. So wherever you live, we'll be there sooner or later.
All right. Well, once again, this is Caleb C. with Connor Christian of Connor Christian Southern Gothic fame on bestofatlantaconcerts.com. Artist Talk. For more info on Connor Christian, you can go to connorchristian.com or visit him at myspace.com/waitingforprincess. And if you want to see him, you can drop by March 7th at the Vinyl. All right. Thank you.